Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again today to another episode with Gaix Career Week. Today, for the day, your host is me, Priyanshi Tripathi. So let's go back and recap about what we did in the past few days. So in the past few days, we had speakers who came and told you about Africa Comicade, Spark Fellow, ARC Fellowship, and different projects that Africa Comicade is running to empower its fellow students. We also spoke about how you can crack in the game development field, whether as a developer or as a game designer, motion designer, and much more. And we had several speakers who came on stage to explain you the aspect of each of these fields. Today, as we wrap up the Gaix Career Week, we have several speakers who are going to tell you how you can curate your LinkedIn and your other social media pages better to stand in this industry. So, please put your hands together for our first speaker for the day, Fola Kemi, who is going to teach you how to stand in the job market pool in the 21st century, currently going to 2025. Thank you. Ms. Fola Kemi, welcome.
Thank you very much, Priyanshi. I'm really happy to be here. This is me wishing I can see the host of people that are watching us and so that I can interact with them. Thank you very much for reaching out. Thank you very much for the invitation. And hi to my friend Oscar as well. Do I go in right into the presentation?
Yes, please. You can also share your screen with us if you have slides that you would like to present.
Yes, it's on already. My screen, yes. Thank you, Oscar.
Okay.
Alrighty. So Priyansha, I think you'll be my presentation body. So I'll be looking at your face on the screen just so that I know that I have someone there. All right. So right into the crux of the matter today. Um, the topic of job pool, job searching, job hunting is not something new to a whole lot of us, right? And I'm sure that we've heard lot of wisdom from people, from their experience, from even what you've heard someone experience and all. And I'm practically here to share my experience as a talent acquisition specialist, having experience over 4 years, close to 5 years now, interacted with different professionals at different career level, from beginner to senior, and across different industry. An interesting thing is that the gaming industry is quite young on this side of the world, but there are a lot of things. Like, I was talking to somebody this afternoon, and I was trying to share with them that I have a speaking engagement later today, and I needed to wrap up what I was doing. And he then asked, "Oh, gaming, oh, that industry is doing a lot of things currently, but it seems to be on the low key, right? So to stand out in that kind of industry, you need to do something that is unique to you, and something that is worth um gone in for, as it were, right? So right, I'll just go into the presentation. Yeah, so these are the four key points that I'll be speaking to today. The first is understanding the creative job market. The second being crafting a distinct personal brand. And the third, networking in the hidden job market. And then lastly, creating winning job application. We have just got 5 minutes to run through this, and I'll ensure that you are able to pick at least one or two things to better yourself and to distinct you in the very dynamic creative space that you will find yourself, either as a developer, a designer, or whichever you can identify with. Firstly, understanding the creative job market. It is what emphasizing that many creative roles are usually filled through networks and recommendations, right? The creative space is a space that it's your work that will speak for you, right? And more than your work speaking for you is for people to be aware of what you're doing and to put your to put words for you out there. Two things to note is that it is very important to research key industry rules and emerging skills. I was meant to understand that most of the people on this call right now are those who are just starting out in the creative space, from 0, 1 to 2 years, or even those who are already going towards the intermediate. Right, it is important to research the key industry roles. What are the roles that are available or relevant in the creative space that you find yourself, and the emerging skills, right? Like they will say, it is important to know what is working now and not only what has worked, right? In that way, you are able to position yourself better, and that way you're also able to enhance the skills that you already have. And number two is staying updated with market trends and tools. One very thing that I love so much about the African Comic community is how much work is put into taking everybody at the same pace, and not just only at the same pace, connecting everyone at different locations and different countries, coming together to do something relevant for the space, right? So African Communicate is a community that you can join to stay updated with the market trends in the creative space, and also the tools that you can that you're sure to have, that can make you position yourself and be on top of the job pool. So what can you do from this point is that join industry forums and professional community. I, for one, when I started as an HR person, one of the things that I ensured to do was to join communities, join forums that puts me in that place where I have the latest information. I have the latest information about what is happening in my industry. I'm not left out. The skills that I need to have, the people that I need to know, the industry that I need to work in, even as an HR person. Just when I was transitioning from traditional HR consulting to the company that I work with. I work with Propel, by the way, a community that connects African tech talent to the global workforce, leveraging a community power platform, right? And what I do currently is pushing the growth and the partnership of the ecosystem, right? So before coming in, I had to do some of these things that I'm saying to you now, right? I made sure to do a research of what it is, the kind of roles that are relevant to me in the tech space, the kind of skills that I can transfer to the industry that I desire, right? So join industry forums, join professional communities. In there, you can get people that have been through the stage that you're currently at, that you don't need to go through some highs or low or corners. Like, you just have it's better than they have. And people here, I'm sure, are very supportive and will really, really be open to holding your hand as you grow within the space. The next would be crafting a distinct personal brand. Before I move ahead, I want to state here that personal brand is not only what you actually put online or what people think of you online, but also what people around you, those who have interacted with you, those who have interacted with your work, have to say about you. They also talk for you. So that said, the first point that I have here for creating a personal brand is building a portfolio. One mistake that most people that are just starting out usually make is to think the project that they've done while in a fellowship like this, or the project that they've done volunteering or freelancing, are not what's being their portfolio to showcase during job search. That is a lie that I don't know who has spread out to people. Any project that you've been part of, that you've successfully been part of, is worth being your portfolio. As long as you were part of that project, you did it, it is worth showcasing in your portfolio, right? So showcase how versatile you are and the impactful projects that you've teamed up or been part of. I build your portfolio. You don't need to do something very elaborate if you don't have the means to. You can get a small website. You have friends that are developers. You are there are free websites that I know also out there that you can leverage to, you are able to get that big opportunity that you desire. The thing is to ensure that you start first. It may not be all perfect, But as you move and you build along, people begin to give you a chance and put a chance on you. Number two is create your story, right? It is important to highlight your unique creative style, right? It is the diversity in our strength, in the diversity in our creativity that brings beauty to everything, right? So not try to be like someone. Oscar is different from Priyansha. Priyansha is different from Falakemi, right? So ensure that you highlight your unique creative style. Number two is noting that applicants with standout portfolios are 60% more likely to secure interviews, right? Applicants that have applications or portfolio that are and that spark up questions from recruiter or even hiring managers, like, oh, I really want to meet with this person. Oh, what could this person be thinking? What's in the mind of this creator? I want to meet with this person. Lastly is personal brand boost your job search success by 50%. And I'm a witness to this. When I started out in my own career as well, not even with the intent of getting a job, I made sure that I shared the things that I was learning as a recruitment consultant then, in the company I was working with, share online, share tips on how job applicants can position themselves better, CVs and all of those things. And I noticed that anytime I reach out to either recruiters, by the time I was looking for, I was job hunting, I saw that people were very, very responsive to respond to me in their DM because I have already positioned myself as someone who has value, right? So once you're able to get that, you put yourself in a place where people know that, oh, this person has something to offer, that even if they don't have job for you, they can definitely be that door to referring you to another. So what's the action step for this for you is to regularly update your portfolio and create a consistent online presence, right? Regularly update your portfolio and create a consistent online presence. By consistency, that means you are you are ensuring to stay within the confines of what you're trying to make people see or know about you, right? Ensuring that your presence is consistent, the things that you share are consistent and true both online and offline. The next would be networking in the hidden job market. Another beautiful thing I love about the African Comic community is that they always provide that avenue to connect with other creators like yourself. Like there's always that avenue, there's always that space for you to connect with people of similar interest. So you'll be doing yourself a disservice if you're not visible in the places that you need to be visible, right? You are a gamer, you're a designer, but you usually find yourself where those who are not of the same interest as you are. It means you probably have a misplaced priority or you are not at the right place at the right time, right? You need to be visible. People need to know you. People need to know what you are able to do, more importantly, right? Participate in industry events, both virtual and in person, right? The world has made it very easy these days. You don't need to be in places in person. You can join virtually, connect with people, reach out to people during events, chat them up, and do all those things to keep yourself visible. Also, engage authentically, share your work and insights online, right? Like someone once told me a very long time ago, he said value attracts value, right? You can't expect from people what you are not willing to give, right? Share your work online, share the insights, ask questions. Like people are always ready to give answers that they know, right? So ask questions, share the things you know, create a community in your own sub community. So what do we take from what I've shared on this point is you can request for informational interviews and seek mentorship opportunities. By informational interviews, again, like myself, by the time I was ready to change jobs, I started reaching out to people that I've seen do great stuff on LinkedIn or someone that I've seen somewhere. Oh, just 5 minutes of your time, ask questions. Oh, how did you do this? What do I need to do to get this? How did you get this? And all of that, right? And You may not even need to reach out to them in terms of chatting with them or calling them. You can go through their page. People have made it so easy these days. Many people share as much as they can about themselves online. Just go there, read, absorb everything you need to do. YouTube is your friend. Go on YouTube. You have the internet at your fingertip, and also seek mentorship opportunities. Right. Mentorship these days has been bastardized, let pardon me to use that word, right? But there are still those people who are able to see the truthfulness in your heart, who would still want to accommodate you, or even not you following them back to back as a person, maybe in person. You can, on their Instagram page, on or their profiles online, just read up the information that they share there. From there, you can also get to contribute to the things that they are passionate about, and before you know it, you can be seen, right, and be given a chance in their space. um the last one would be crafting a winning job application, right? It's okay to have the skills. Please give me a second. It's okay to have the skills. All right. um it's okay to have the skills. It's okay to have the portfolio. It's okay to have all those. But if you are not applying as you ought to, or you are not applying to the places that you need to, um, the stars won't align in your favor, right? Um, most job description or most job adverts usually have the requirements on there, right? If the job is saying send your CVs in Word format, and you're sending it in PDF format, it already shows that you don't have attention to details, or there could be a reason why the company prefers it this way and not that way, right? And more importantly, there are particular skills that each job would require, right? If you have two skills that are relevant, but they need you to list one, and you have more than four or five, it might be something that will disqualify you. So it is very important to pay attention to details when you are applying to jobs. Tailor to that particular job you are going for. Number one is customizing the material, right? Customizing your resume, customizing your cover letter to the specific requirement in that job advert or for the role, right? Number two is also showcasing impact, right? Highlighting the achievements and measurable results, right? Oh, I did it this way, it led to this, and this was the outcome, right? Not just saying, oh, I organized, I assisted, I did this, I did that. I like the achievement. Or when you joined this team, you were able to achieve this, and what this achievement did was it led to 5% or 3% increase in the bottom line, right? Ensuring that you are highlighting the things that are needed, right? Number two is customizing your resume can actually boost your interview chances by 45%, right? I remember when I also was actively job hunting just about a year or two ago. What I ensured to do was I made sure that I tailored my CV to the job requirements, or the kind of job that I was open to at that time, right? And just 3 months down the line, I saw that the company reached out to me, right? So your CV is your first foot into the door, right? You will not be there to defend yourself. Nobody will be there. It's your CV that will speak for you. So you want to do yourself a good favor to make sure that everything is aligned. Number two also is that most candidates or job applicants are usually afraid of doing this, sending a follow-up email after an interview, right? Of course, yes, sometimes it can look or sound so intrusive, but um no harm in trying. Nobody's going to beat you, right? Send a follow-up email after an interview, especially if you've not heard from them after a week or two. I encourage that, particularly for myself. Once I'm done interviewing you or engaging with you at a candidate, I tell you the particular time. I give you my WhatsApp number or give you my email. Please reach out to me at this time, because I have a lot of roles I'm working on and I might forget, like, not because I want to, right? And that way it has put me on my toes to give people feedback as at when due, right? Action step is develop a compelling professional story and follow up after interviews. Like I usually tell people, the job or recruitment process is a two-way street, right? You are speculating the company, they're also looking at you. You have something to offer. That is why they reached out to you, right? So you don't want to make it seem as though they are doing you a favor, right? It's a value exchange. um yeah, the key takeaways from everything that I've shared so far is that one, stay informed through continuous learning, right? Ensure that you are updated with the markets and industry trend and the tools that are relevant to your choosing career path as a creative, right? Number two is also build a distinct creative identity and portfolio. Make sure that you showcase your best projects. Make sure that you showcase project that you've made impact with. And number three is network strategically and cultivate meaningful relationship. Network and make connections with those at your level, those above your level, and even those that are quote and unquote below you, right? Ensure that you have a very healthy very healthy relationship with people within your industry. And how can you do that is to go for events in person or virtual. The last one will be present well tailored job applications, right? What you sow is what you reap, right? If you sow mango, you can't get orange. So make sure that you put your best foot forward, and the outcome also would always tell. Yeah, thank you very much. If you have any questions at this point, I'll be glad to respond to them. So the floor is open.
Thank you so much, Fulakemi, for such a beautiful presentation. So,
You're
well,
welcome.
I would like to ask you a few questions related to your presentation, especially after you said that how we must tailor our CV for every job application. May you please elaborate for people who are making a transition? If you're making a transition from one field to another, how would you tailor your CV for that? And would you like to start in a intern role, or maybe a junior role would be better? Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Um, if I get you correctly, if you're asking for someone who is transitioning, say you're a junior developer or junior designer who wants to start out. Everyone knows you're starting out. Like everyone knows you don't have, except they're being the recruiter or the hiring person is trying to be unrealistic, right? So I'm just starting out. Of course, you can't expect me to have 5 or 10 years of experience, right? It's usually in how you tell your story. For instance, for myself, I studied environmental biology in school, but I eventually started a career in HR after 3 months of graduating, right? And that means I'm a science student. And I'm trying to transition into a management role. So what did I do? Aside ensuring that I didn't do it myself because I don't know how to do it, I don't know how to put my CV together. I was fortunate to have a recruiter who helped me. So I took cue from the past experience that I've had as a secretary when I was in NYSC. We call it youth service here in Nigeria, right? So I took bits and pieces that are relevant to what I wanted to push at that time, right? I took you from when I taught in a secondary school year. We call it high school. High school. Some places call it high school. I taught at the secondary school, which is relevant to HR in learning and development. So I just identified transferable skills that I already have and put them on my CV, and that puts me at the door, right? So for a creative person who is just starting out, it is important that those pet projects or those pet things that you maybe during the Spark Fellowship, you did a project where they told you to build something, right? Or you and one other participant came up with something, or something that you were even taught at all. You can put it in your Google Drive, or put it in some form of portfolio that can be that can be shared with recruiters when they reach out to you, right? So for instance, you don't have an experience, could be like your job experience or your work experience. Let's say work experience, spark fellowship, highlight some of the things that you were taught, right? That you were taught during the spark fellowship, and then put in a link there, some of the work or assignments that you were given, let's say a capstone project, or whatever it is that you were taught, that you think you were able to apply yourself to. The goal is that you are able to defend what you did, right? And for you to get a junior role, right? You are not looking to get a senior role. So ensuring that everything you're being taught right now, it is relevant. The mistake that junior or transitioning professionals usually make is that they believe that it's until when I'm paid to do a job, or I have a 9 to 5, that is when this skill or this project is relevant. What you're learning right now, and what you've been taught, and what you've applied yourself to as capstone projects, or mini project that you've done, are very relevant to be there on your CV. Just make sure that you put them together and you are able to defend them. I hope that answers.
Yes, it does. We have a question here from Rushi. He is asking, do you have any advice on how to optimize LinkedIn profiles to attract the attention of recruiters or industry professionals?
Awesome. Thank you, Rishi, for that question. The advice I have, I'm very big on LinkedIn. When I mean big on LinkedIn, I mean in terms of positioning yourself for opportunities professionally. LinkedIn is that place you actually want to be. No matter how people bash that platform, LinkedIn is a place you want to be. So, let's say Rishi is a motion designer. You have to ensure that you are using the keywords related to motion design on your profile in order for you to be searched, to be visible on search when recruiters search for you. So your header is very important. What do you have there? Your work experience, about yourself. Even if you're a transitioning professional, how do you tell your story? You're probably previously a data analyst transitioning to motion design. Yeah, how do you tell that story, right? So optimizing means optimizing your profile for search when recruiters look for specific kind of roles on LinkedIn. Yeah, I hope that works. And again, one thing I shared is, if you can, not everybody are able to. If you can share some of the works that you've done on your profile, these things also help to boost your profile reach to recruiters when they search for people that are related or have your kind of skill.
Okay, one last question. So, uh, what would you suggest to someone who would like to break into the media industry? Like media industry in the sense who like to break, who started in software development initially and then would like to break in the industry of journalism and media, and maybe hosting shows and anchoring shows. What would you suggest to that person? How can they tailor their portfolio for the dream job?
The advice I'll give to such person is to identify people that you can volunteer with for free, right? Right now, you're not looking to get money out of it. If you are able to get money out of it, win-win for you. But what you need right now is the skill. You need the skill. So you can identify a senior person in that particular profession, and let them know that, oh, you want to volunteer your skill. The person might actually need to what's it called, create a website, and you already have that skill. More like a value exchange, right? Look for someone who needs your skill, that you also need something that they have, and make an exchange, right? So what you need is not really a big thing, as it were. Look for where to volunteer your skill. That would be a very first place to start. And yes, you can also read about the industry you want to venture into. Reading about it provide an avenue for you to be able to contribute to discussions when you come across such, maybe online. I've seen people gotten gigs and gotten jobs from just engaging in online discussion, just because of they're able to exercise or share the little that they know. Right? You want to read about that industry. Desire is enough. Desire is good. You want to read about the industry. You also want to be part of such discussion. You're already here in the Spark Fellowship African Communicate community. It's a good place to be. Engage with people, engage with those who you feel have what you need. Volunteer your skill within the community. You want to join journalism, you can as well tell Priyanshi that you want to join her with moderating, or you want to be the one in charge of the PR. Just exercising and volunteering your skills is not as hard as you may think. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Polakemi. We are really glad to have you. Really excited, and so much thank you for all the information we got from you. Thank you
Thank you.
so much. We
Thank you very
hope
much.
to have you again in future when we have again a session for our Spark Fellows.
Thank you very much. I'm so
My pleasure.
honored to have
My
been
pleasure.
here. Yeah. All right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was Folakemi for you, who actually taught you how to tailor your application, your cover letters, and your portfolios for the job market. Now, the second speaker in line we have for you is Oralua, who is going to teach you about motion, about motion design, and also how to place yourself in the industry. So, let's get our hands together for Oralua. Welcome, Oralua. Uh, Oralua, are you there with us? I think the sir had a bit of a network glitch. Well, no problem. Oh, he's back. He's back. So I think he will join us shortly.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. May you please switch on your camera so that we can see you? There is a bit of network. Sorry, we lost you there a bit. Yes, we can hear you. Can you please share your camera? We couldn't hear you that time. You got cut. There's a network issue. I think a speaker is struggling a bit with internet. Well, no problem. So, we have another Spark fellow here, Mobolaji, here with us, and let's see what he has got in for us. Yesterday, he was our host for the day, and he also shared with us some games. Mobolaji, are you there with us? Lua? Okay, so, well, our second speaker, he's actually having a bit of network issues, and he's right now traveling, so he won't be able to switch on his camera, I believe. Well, that's not a problem. Let's recap on everything that we learned in the past 5 days and everything that we talked about. Do you guys remember our first speaker, Miss Faith Benson, who was telling you all about Africa Communicate and also the amazing programs that Africa Communicate hosts for its students? Well, so personally, I'm part of the Spark Fellowship. Okay, in our Spark Fellowship, we have the media and journalism cohort, media marketing journalism cohort, PM cohort, developer cohort, XR, and augmented reality cohort. So, what happens in of these cohorts is that we teach our fellows, well, we call our students fellows instead of calling them students. So, in each of these cohorts, our fellows actually we teach them on how to break into the gaming industry. So now, if you are someone who is passionate about gaming industry, go Google www.africa AFRICA communicate.com, sorry, .org.com, www.africacommunicate.org, and click on the website and you will get to find out everything about Africa Communicate. Now, let me tell you what we do in each of these cohorts, okay? So like I'm the Spark Fellow, right? There is also we also have the ARC Fellowship. Okay? So let's start with the Spark Fellowship because like I'm a Spark Fellow. So in the Spark Fellowship, like I'm part of the journalism, media, and the marketing cohort. Here we are taught about journalism. Like you get to learn how to write articles, how to write podcasts, do podcasts, interview articles, you know, and write about people in the industry, do podcasts, and also write blogs. And guess who teaches you all of this? All of this is taught to us by Mr. Michael Oscar SEO. So he is the founder of Africa Communicate. He teaches all of this, and like the way he is so passionate about all this, like it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. So if you are someone who is interested in journalism, media, and under media, he teaches us how to write social media posts. Like he teaches you how to manage social media posts. There's like, yes, all of the information is also available on internet, and yes, you can go and follow creators on YouTube or Instagram and learn for them. But I personally feel if you have a mentor to guide you through the whole journey, it just changes the scenario. So in that case, um, we have Mr. Oscar teaching us, taking us through this whole process, teaching us about community management, social media management, and everything. It's really fun. Then in the in the project management cohort, yesterday you got a presentation from two of our project managers, Rushi, Rushi Misha, and Rita. So these are two project managers who are also Spark Fellows, and I mean, it's good, right? So there you also learn about project management in the project management cohort. And in the developer cohort, you get to work with developers from the Unity field. If you don't know what is Unity, Unity is like the largest gaming platform in the world that develops lot of games. So let's say like when people go and purchase phones, everyone is looking for that, and for that iOS, Apple iOS, right? So similarly, Unity is like the trademark in the gaming industry, where you have to be like have that Unity certified thing to be recognized in the gaming industry. And fun fact for you, today, we have a senior developer, Mr. Akpan, also, who is going to join us in soon for a conversation on how to create games using Unity. So in the developer cohort, we teach you about C Sharp programming, and you also get to write your Unity certificate to get certified. I mean, it's totally so awesome. Like, it's like a gamer's paradise. And you do not have to be a hardcore gamer to participate in the Spark Fellowship. Honestly, I'm not a hardcore gamer, but I'm here. You just have to be passionate, hardworking, and believe in like what you're doing for you to participate in the Spark Fellowship. And last but not the least, I totally forgot about my XR guys. I mean, they're gonna be so angry at me. But our XR guys, XR, if you were yesterday with us when we were playing games, and day before, XR stands for Extended Reality. So there is extended reality, there is augmented reality, and there is virtual reality. I mean, I know so many, right? Can't believe the pace at which technology is moving. Like, it's amazing. So, yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Like, the tech, it's beautiful. Well, our augmented reality, in our augmented reality cohort, we have animators who design games, who design characters. The characters that you see in the game, yes, they are designed by Spark Fellows. Like, not to brag, not all of them are designed by Spark Fellows, obviously, but we train them to get there and to serve you the best games in the market. So, what's waiting? So, who are you waiting for? Go search www.africacomic.org and get to know more about Africa Comic. Now, we are going to uh, have Mobolaji, one of the Spark Fellows, here with me, and I would like him to elaborate on his journey so far, like how it has been, being a Spark Fellow, the experience that he has. Okay, Mobolaji, are you here with us?
I share
Hello.
my loud and clear. Hi.
Yes. So, what I would like to
Uh,
do today,
Sorry about my network.
I know it's okay. Our network is an issue everywhere. So, what I would like you to do today is, can you please tell our dear audience about your cohort? What have you been doing as a Spark Fellow and all the amazing projects you designed?
Sorry, your line is breaking. Come again.
I'm sorry. I was saying, can you please tell our audience everything about your cohort that you have done in your under your cohort, all the projects that you have done as a Spark Fellow, and how has the experience been?
Oh, okay. Yes. Spark Fellowship has been an awesome journey so far. The transition into the role, it's been seamless with the help of the tutors. Yes, and still getting my hands on Figma. So yes, I think that's one first step I'm taking. But in terms of managing projects, because it's all about product management. In terms of managing projects, doing research, collecting data, oh, that has been very, very helpful. And yes, it's been an amazing journey so far. And something I really, really like to do more deeper and see, where it leads. Because with the speakers we've had for the couple of past few days, yes, they've been amazing, giving us insight about what the industry can look like, if you get that shot to really do it on the big stage. So yes, I'm really excited to get into those opportunity. And I know the fellow audience too, you know, having those amazing speakers giving us impactful insights and depth knowledge of the industry. It's really been amazing. Really, really amazing.
Can you please elaborate on some of the projects that you worked on?
Uh done some couple of projects, but the I think the main key ones we've done more recently is getting the other Gaix week, getting it in place. The Gaix week, the Gaix career week, the whole thing we've been doing from the past for the past 4 days, no 5 days now. Yes, this is 6 days. Yeah,
Yes.
it's one of those. Yes, this is the sixth day, and it's been one of those amazing things to really be part of. And yeah, been working on Figma, working on some imitation of recreating websites and recreating some important details about a particular project on Figma. And yes, that has been amazing too. But you know, still not. I'll say I'm still in the intermediate level. So yes, no much expertise there, and I look forward to do much more amazing things because each every day interest grows in that field. Uh so I think we have some games, right?
Yes. So I would like to ask my audience to please.
I really like to join you in that, in hearing the audience answers on the games, because it was amazing yesterday playing that with them. And yes,
I
I
mean,
think I would like
yeah.
to do that again. So maybe we should come up with some questions and let's see what we've got today.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. So I have a question for my audience.
Okay.
You know what? Instead of going hardcore on the questions, I want to
Yeah, I
give
think you
them.
should choose the easy ones that the audience can easily just come up with the answers.
Yeah, totally. So I
Okay.
would like, ask the audience that I would like them to give us the name of three game studios in Africa.
Hmm. Three
Yeah,
game studios in Africa. That doesn't
yeah.
sound too hard. That doesn't
I
really
mean,
sound too hard. And I'm sure the audience are ready to smash it. So
yep.
maybe
Can't
the audience
wait.
should go first before I let's see if we have anybody to come up with an answer in 5 minutes. Two.
I mean, there are a lot of game studios in Africa. And as our previous speakers, all of them have said, that gaming is still relatively a young area, especially
Yes,
in
yes,
this part of the world. It's still growing
definitely.
slowly. And I think it's very important, given the fact that it's still growing, that we should totally take advantage of that.
Yes.
Oh my, where are my audience? No one is responding. Guys, come on. You can't tell me that you don't know of any gaming studios in Africa.
Or maybe they're doing their research on it. It might not come from the head top, so maybe they're doing some couple of research
Oh, yeah,
to
we are
see.
totally open to research.
Yeah.
Always.
Or do we have options? Oh no,
Oh,
just
well,
okay.
just any that they know.
Just any that they know. Okay, yes, that's fair enough.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the one that I follow on Instagram is Activision Blizzard. It's something that Mr. Oscar always kept
That's
mentioning.
based where?
I know. Hmm. Oh, wait, we
Activation.
have an answer. Oh, okay. Game Soul by Rushi. Okay, that's a new one. I didn't know about this one.
Uh, Sorry, come again.
So,
Okay,
there is
there's a
Game Soul.
comment here. Yes, Rishima said Game Soul.
Yes, he
I
said
think
Game
it's
Soul.
one. Okay. So we still need how many more? Two more.
Yeah, we need two more. Well, I gave one,
Uh,
so we need one more.
okay, which one did you give?
I gave Activision Blizzard.
Okay. I didn't get that. It was a network. So maybe we should give them a little background on Game Soul. Like it's in Africa. Which country? Maybe our audience can do some further research on their own. I mean, what do you think?
Totally, like we are
So
always open to that.
okay, Game Soul. It's I think it's a Nigerian startup. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, by Abiola Olanira. Wow. Okay, so that's totally African. One more. Maybe we should give them just one more then.
Okay, so one more. There is Colibri Games.
Colibri games. Colibri games. Yes, yes, yes. You're right. Okay, now I see why it's a little bit odd for the. Oh, okay. I'm just reading this article right now, and I'm seeing the game Soul is not more in existence. So maybe we should give them one more again. Yes.
Okay, let's see. There is Lady Art that we all love naming, but there are more. There is Games First that I contacted for a press release because during my research, ChatGPT literally told me that they are a game studio.
Oh,
And
game first.
this shows do not rely on information by AI. Do not. You cannot trust AI.
At all. Yes. Okay. So I think we are to bring our next speaker on. Yes. The next speaker is supposed to come on anytime soon now. I think he's ready.
Oh, yes. So let's bring Mr. Michael Oscar Essio, the,
Okay, yes.
the
We could
founder of Africa Comicade.
okay. So you could read a little background info and info for us so that maybe our audience who are not familiar with it.
Yes, totally. I mean, so we have Mr. Michael Oscar Essio here.
Okay.
No need for
Welcome.
no need for background. Yeah, definitely.
We should do a little bit just
Nah,
to
nah.
welcome
Yeah,
to join us this night.
yeah,
Welcome,
and
Simon.
great job, by the way. Great job with all you all have been doing. This has been really exciting, and
Thank
Uh,
you.
yeah, I've
Thank
really
you.
loved watching you people pull through. It's been a lot, very tough and interesting. I'm sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun as well
Okay, then, cool. And I guess I'll be the last speaker for the event, just
for
basically
the
to
old Gaix week. Yeah.
yeah, just basically give some little bit of what do I say? Is it some pep talk or so? As I mean, now, especially for the Spark Fellows, bulk of you would now be looking into start internships, or some have already started internships actually. I don't know a couple of people that are working with Google Studios, but for the rest of you, or bulk of those who are watching who are not a part of that program, you would also be looking at seeing how to practice your skills more, get down there into the field and see one or two things you can do. So, yeah. So, can I just give that wrap up speech? Then you all can come in, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Super. Um, or maybe before we even do that, we could show what yesterday we did have the video clips, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah, for sure.
before I speak, let me just pull up the animation and Excel showcase. I do know the games showcase will be uploaded, and we couldn't put it on this platform. Then I'll just give that speech. We're good with that?
Yes.
Okay then. So let's do that. Yeah, super. Okay then.
Good work. Like the music. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yeah, putting the whole puzzle together with the extra was really amazing.
Mhm.
And yes, okay. So that brings us to the end of Gaix Career Week. Six amazing days full of impactful insights and yes, amazing knowledges just to share across board. And yes, thank you for joining us this evening, Mr. Oscar.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Just before we wrap up officially, I'd just love to say a few words to everyone out there who's looking to kickstart a career in the video games, immersive, and interactive media industry. And yeah, because it's one of a kind. It's an industry that is passion driven, right?
Yes.
Um, but then, just as with every other creative industry, one must recognize that there's a reason why most people don't like creatives or the creative sector. And that's because one key thing there is stability. It's the creative industry is not known for stability.
Yes.
You look at artists, you look at musicians, as individuals, they are not known for stability. As a sector, they are not known for stability. Um, because this is also because the industry is driven mostly on the consumer side also by emotion. So you might do something you think is great, but if people don't love it, because
Yes.
it's a really, really emotional driven industry, then it even if it's great for you, it's not great for everyone. So, when you look at the video games industry globally this year, last year, for example, there's been massive layoffs, especially as technology is evolving. Startups are looking at cutting down costs. People are restructuring their workflows, trying to optimize their spend. So, if you are looking to enter into this sector, this is a sector, no doubt, I'm very, very passionate about. It's a sector I'm completely in love with. However, one must be very aware what they are getting into. The industry is tough. In Africa, it is an emerging market. So you're not going to be finding so many opportunities left and right? So getting a job might be difficult, but I think one thing we've tried to push through the Spark Fellowship program is how even the skills you are getting here are transferable to other sectors. Just as on the business side, we work with the game studios to see how they can venture into other sides beyond just entertainment, be it education, be it trainings, be it visualization, be it production of things just beyond digital games, right? So also yourself as a creative looking to enter this sector, you have to ensure that your skills are diverse and versatile. You are able to work in several fields with the skills and knowledge you have. You can't just, especially if you want to survive, because generally globally the economy is tough, right? But then if you really want to survive and thrive from within Africa, um, in some stages, based on where you're coming from, based on your family background or structure, how much funds you have left waiting for you, and if you don't have any, the strategy and your approach to surviving in this sector would have to be different. But it cannot be strict, it cannot be limited, it cannot be one way. You need to be very strategic about your growth. Over the years, the bulk of the people I started this industry with, like I joined whilst we started in this industry, the bulk of them have had to leave the continent to go out there to get access to those opportunities in order to be able to survive. Because whether we like it or not, there are more game studios out there outside Africa than within Africa. Specialization is more of a thing outside Africa than within Africa. If you're looking to specialize within Africa, it's going to be difficult. If you're looking to generalize outside Africa, it's going to be difficult because outside the continent where there are more mature markets, they want a master at something. But within the African continent, they want someone that can do one, two, three things because the industry is driven by smaller teams. Whereas out there, they are more structured. teams and all. And I've seen a lot of people have to move outside, not just from Nigeria, from other countries, to go to these more matured markets to be able to thrive in the sector. This does not mean you cannot thrive from within the continent. It's just that it's a lot more difficult because you would have to educate people on the value of what you're doing. You would also most likely struggle to get many people who are willing to pay you the value of your work, right? Out there, you can charge for a mobile game and say, oh, you billing it for maybe $50,000, $200,000. You see those game dev projects, the building games with $1 million. Yeah, in Africa, that's a totally different ball game. It's a thing of people don't value a bulk of your work because it's seen as the creative industry, it's seen as a creative job. And creativity, the way it's valued within Africa, it's a thing more of class, publicity, demand, as opposed to actual value of the project you're working. So one needs to be very strategic, knowing that within the continent there's not a lot of opportunities, and generalization seems to thrive more than specialization. This does not mean you should be a generalist. I think we all want to be professionals at the end of the day. So even if you're trying to survive, you also need to never forget your goal and see how you can specialize along the way, because the goal should be you are coming out to be a professional in the next 5 years, 10 years, or maybe, or even 4 years. Now, you see, I'm mentioning a lot of years. Uh, the creative industry is not something you're going to make it tomorrow. That's another thing most people, it's not a poverty alleviation scheme. It's not the, oh, you join in today, you're making billions tomorrow. No,
Yeah.
it's the creative sector, and creativity is all about expression. And you have to practice to refine your expression. Even
Yes.
musicians with good voices, they don't just become an overall hit. They still need to practice, learn how to put that good voice in a way that is pleasing to a large crowd of people. So it's your career journey is going to be a marathon. For me, I've spent over a decade in this sector, and I've gone through various roles. I've tried programming, I've tried community management. Now I'm more focused on the business side and being production, being a producer. That's where I'm now more tilted to. It's going to be a marathon. It's not going to be a sprint. Yes, for some people, it's going to be, I call it maybe a marathon. Yes, somebody might figure out what they want to do in 2, 3 years, and another person might spend 4 years and not really have headway. What is very important, like all the other speakers have mentioned, is you really need to always turn up. Turn up, uh, keep on refining your skills, and ensure that you are in those rooms that connect you to the opportunities of where you want to be. Um, yeah, I think one key thing Chima did mention in the session was you need to have a career plan. Now, I wouldn't lie to you. For me, a lot of my early years, I was just figuring out things as it came along. And that is not a strategy. That is not something good. Even as you're starting from day one, you need to be able to say, hey, in the next 2 years, 3 years, 1 year, what do I want to do? Where do I want to be? Now, this does not mean that's what is going to happen eventually. What this basically means is that at least you have a goal, at least you know what you're chasing. And getting there might not give you the fulfillment you're looking for, but even if you don't get there, something might happen along the way. You might find a better vision, but at least you're going to have direction.
I believe you oh, sorry.
Okay, yeah, I'm
Thought
there.
we lost it there.
So
Okay,
yeah,
bro.
at least you're going to have direction, and that is very important. Another thing Chima did say that was really exciting was not every company is a good fit for you. Now, I'm going to be rash and be like, that's a rich kid speaking. Because in Africa, where there's not a lot of job opportunities, you do know your choices are limited. But
Yes.
let's also not forget the world has changed. I know a lot of game developers, creatives that are working for global studios from within the continent. So you should not limit yourself to just Africa as well, right? And there are many other continents outside Europe or the US. There's Asia and so many more. So do not limit yourself. And if you have a career plan, then you would also have a good idea of where you want to work, which is very important. Because not every company, the same way companies, when you apply for jobs, the companies are trying to look at, are you a good fit for them? You also need to have the standards to say, oh, is this company a good fit for me? I want to
For me,
become this in
yes.
3 years. Would I have those opportunities to grow in that company? Would I learn? Would I become successful? Will I achieve my goals? And your goals can be many things. You don't need to be shy. It's something personal. Your goals can be monetary. I want to earn this amount of money by this time. There's nothing bad in loving money or wanting money. The economy is tough. Your goals can also be career wise or maybe network or connection, right? Your goals can
Yes.
be project based. Because remember, once more, it's the creative industry. The more projects you work on, yeah, is going to determine the more experience you have. It's not by the number of years you've spent in the sector. Oh, I've been 20 years here. What have you been doing? If you've not been doing anything, you've not been growing. You've just been
Yes.
taking up space and adding to the numbers. So you need to work on projects, valuable projects. And when you are going out to look for who to work with, one thing Falakemi said that I'll pick is, you see, it's a hidden job market. And in Africa, for example, it's a very small space. What that means is if you're working with me or you're working with someone, I most likely know that person, right? Because everybody kind of knows each other. It's very easy to know everybody in the space because the number is not so large. In Africa, there's not 2,000 game developers or game development studios. There's like 100, 150 active game studios. At least I can say I know up to 50. Now, the chances of those 50 knowing the other 50 I don't know is very high. You're getting my point. So it's a very
Yes.
small space, and when you are going into it, you have to be very intentional. Even out there globally as well, though they have larger number, it's still a small space. Most of the people that are leaders, almost everybody knows them, and they work with one another, they connect with one another. When they want to recruit, they would rather choose someone they've seen your work, they're comfortable with you, or you've been referred by someone that they are comfortable with, than just some random person online. So go out there. Ore was supposed to speak much more on this, but maybe we'll have a session much later to touch base on it. Make use of social media. It's not for posting your problems in life. It is for creating avenues for people to discover how discover your work. I did write some notes. I'm just kind of like trying to ensure I did capture everything. And yeah, in the creative industry, especially where things are seriously being done, your work is your best project. It's the best thing you have to push you. It's not, you're most likely not going to be going to something where you're just used as a figurehead. You need to do the work. So your portfolio is the best thing that can push you. And what you would want to do is you would want to stand out. You would want to stand out. Create systems, projects around yourself that allow you to stand out. You want to be attracting opportunities, not chasing opportunities. That is what standing out means, right? Standing out means you want to be able to attract opportunities. Everybody is chasing opportunities. Many more people are applying for jobs over and over again. What you want to do is to be able to, go out there and make use of social media to put yourself out there so that when people are looking for, they can easily find you. And then that differentiation is very clear. And how will you stand out? One good way is to build in public. Whatever you are doing, put it out there. Your early beginnings, your learnings, your mistakes, put it out there in a very structured manner. Put it out there. And don't be scared of failing. It's the creative industry. It's all about experimentation. It's all about failing. Look at me now speaking on this call. On YouTube, you would see the first game I done. I had very nice bushy hair. But I did not care. For me back then, I was like, wow, I'm awesome. I'm cool. And I made my mistakes and I kept on going. And because I did not stop, over the years, I have improved. So don't fail, but put yourself out there, build that track record, and make it easy for people to trust and believe in you. Don't make it difficult for them. If someone wants to say, "Oh, what have you done?" Instead of you gathering your portfolio and putting documents, "I was here, I was here." Imagine if the person has already just searched your name and there's so many things, not just on one place, right? There's a blog about you, there's LinkedIn about you, there's this, and it's genuine. I'm not saying you should just go out there and lie. It's genuine work because people come up with a lot of things right now that you've done. Build in public, seek to attract opportunities, and create enough. How do I put it? There's something I personally believe in. The more I expand my net, the more I'm open to failure, but then the more chances I have to win. So maybe in a case I need to go through 10 trials to win one. So if I go for 100, that means I have 10 more probability to win, right? But if you are always like, oh, you're scared, you don't put yourself out there, you don't know what they'll say about you, nobody really cares. And even if they speak about you or so, that is fine. You are on your own journey and you should focus on that a lot. Yeah. And yeah, I think that's it. So as for opportunities, we're working with a couple of people. We want to see how we can create more opportunities in the games industry. One key thing I'd like to also put, lest I forget. I'm here. Yeah. So one key thing I would also I would also love to mention, lest I forget, is the fact that don't rush to be a founder or a game studio owner. So that's a scam. That's like one of the biggest scam out there. I'm not saying entrepreneurship is bad. I am pro entrepreneurship. But what I would advise is if you are just starting your career, if you are just starting your career, there's two routes you can go, or there's more than two routes you can go. But one thing that would help you very well in really scaling, whether you want to start your own studio, so that's why having a plan is very important, is working in an environment that has structure. Now, you might not understand the value of this. It's because if you don't work in a place where there's structure, it will be very difficult for you to set up structure and systems in your own organization. And trust me, for you to be able to not create stuff, not just create stuff or great stuff, for you to be able to create great stuff and also scale, that means grow bigger, you're going to need structures and systems. And you only learn that by working in a place that has that or growing up in a home that has that. So if you are going on to start saying, oh, you want to start your studio, your startup because you've learned this stuff, you can go the indie route. So people go through it. And if you're going through that route, one thing you can do for yourself is also quickly, once you're able to, employ someone who can help you set up structures across the way. Now, when you will need to do that depends on who you are, what kind of organization you're running, your company culture, or studio culture, whatever. It can be different for everyone. But definitely at that point where you want to grow, you are going to need structure. And the best, easiest way to do it is to work in a place that there's structure. Also, it also allows you to connect with all people who understand structure. You know, creatives are known for not being very, or there's this general perception of creatives, the way they do things, it's rush, scattered in a very orderly manner. And in the creative defense, that's us being creative. That's us expressing ourselves. We are not like normal people, right? It's what makes us special. But at the end of the day, you have to see this as a business. You have to see this as an industry. You have to know that you need to be, to some extent, reasonable or responsible, rather. And you need to set up those systems for you. You need to understand how to set up those systems. You need to be able to protect your future, yourself, except you want to be that free spirited creative, which is also totally fine. But your plan is going to determine which advice and strategy you need to follow. Do you want to be that self expressive creative? Do you want to be the indie game developer? Some key things there: build in public, attract opportunities, see how you can have structure. These are things that will help you along the way. And don't rush to be a founder and don't hold your ideas too tight. That's something some creatives do. But from me, generally, I'd say if you are just joining the sector and you're looking to grow, whether from another sector, come with your skills, come with your experiences, be open minded, and explore and grow. But explore, grow, find those opportunities, whether as freelancing or as a full time staff or contract or part time staff, whichever one. Go into it and experience it. And know that the coming years, anything can happen. So keep yourself open for opportunities. And yeah, I think with that, that's a lot of pep talking. Or what do you say, Priyanshi?
Well, it was mouthful, but yeah, it was really eye-opening. I mean, honestly, the world, yes, I mean, the world is your place,
Yeah,
and you can dream. Like there is no limit to the
exactly.
dreams, but your actions should be in conjunction with your dreams.
Exactly.
I mean, if
100%.
you just dream but you do not act, there is no correlation. It won't work.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. 100%.
And one
Yeah.
thing that you said, key thing, that this field is driven by passion. Yes, it is something that I totally agree. Because like everyone is busy like telling me that I'm working so much, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I just know that I like what I'm doing. I
Yeah,
love what
that
I'm
is
doing.
good. That is good. It will make you go further than anybody, but then you also need to also ensure that your passion is rewarding you. Yes, because at some point you will need this. The industry is also very expensive for you to be able to. If you're in games, for example, the technology you'll be using is not cheap. Even now, if you're in video editing, earlier everybody had left Premiere Pro and all to CapCut because it was free and accessible. Now CapCut is charging you monthly subscription. You need money to be able to even practice properly right now with CapCut and all this too. So it's a very expensive sector. So you can be passionate about it, but you also need to realize that you need to invest in yourself along the way. You need to invest in your career, in your passion. And so you must create room for it to be sustainable for you no matter what level you are in your career. You need to start taking from day one. And one thing I've learned, I made that mistake as well. One thing I've learned is, see, when you start charging early on for your work, no matter how small, let there be, when I say charging, it doesn't have to be monetary value, but let there be a clear value exchange. Monetary is always one of the best, it's the standard exchange of value. If you want food, you pay money. No one says, "Oh, you're hungry. I like you." Nah, you pay money. Yeah, but start early on respecting your craft. You putting a value to what you do is also a form of self-respect to yourself as a creative. Because if you don't do that, you can ask the guys in graphic design. There was an era where people are like, it's just a graphic ad. Just help me do it. And then they keep on struggling. Or photographers as well. You're my friend. Just help me come and snap. Put value to your work. And then people would value you as well as an individual. But then if you're putting value to your work, make sure your work is valuable. Very important. So invest in yourself, invest in your skills, invest in standing out, then put value to your work and you would enjoy your passion. But if you don't, over time, then you start experiencing burnout, depression, loss of self, and so many other things, which is known to us creatives. And I've experienced quite a couple. I wouldn't want you to go through that. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for Michael for this. Well, it
Yeah.
has been a lovely week.
Yes, yes, yes,
Learning,
it does.
yes, mistakes have been happening, obviously, but it has been a lovely week.
Yeah.
A
So,
lot of learning, a lot of everything.
so can I
Well,
go out?
yes,
Thank you.
a pleasure. Well, guys, it has been a lovely week, and I think our other host, Mubalaji, is having bit of issues with his lightning there. session. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, guys. Yeah. So you heard Mr. Molaji telling you that it has been an awesome week, awesome time with great speakers. Do not forget to connect with us on LinkedIn and go watch our videos on YouTube. Everything is recorded and shared on our YouTube channel at Africa Communicate. And for opportunities in this space, we have ARC Fellowship opening next year for all the curious game studio founders, game studio developers. We have the ARC Fellowship opening next year. You can totally join in January. Please visit the Africa Communicate website. And it was great hosting you all and having you here. Till then, till next time, see you. Bye.